In this video, we're going to show the steps to create a t-shirt, starting with a DXF file and ending with a 3D simulation. Creating a garment going from a 2D DXF file to 3D simulation involves these steps. 1. Importing DXF. 2. Arranging pattern pieces. 3. Preparing pieces. 4. Stitching. 5. Simulating. If you are a beginner, we recommend following these steps until you're more comfortable about developing your own workflow. Let's start with step 1, importing the DXF file. Everything looks fine, so we can click OK to complete the import. Now that we know the measurements are accurate, let's hide our 10 by 10 square that we were using as a reference. Now we review the points along the pattern edge to determine if they will stitch accurately. Reviewing this piece, we decide to change one point to a corner point. We're doing this because the corner point separates the line segment, making for easier stitching later. Next, we will add piece or edge symmetry. As a beginner, it is best practice to add as much symmetry as possible. To finish this step, we'll save our file. Step 2 is arranging pieces. The first thing we want to do is to make sure we are arranging on the correct avatar. For this file, we want to use Olivia. The next thing we want to do is line up the pattern pieces in the 2D window. Because the pieces maintain their position once in arrangement mode, lining them up first makes arranging that a little bit easier. Once we are in arrange mode, what we need to do is move each pattern piece to the cluster area of the body it should drape from. Remember that we can also arrange the patterns into clusters within the 3D window. We complete arrangement by moving each of the pattern pieces into the appropriate cluster. We'll save our work. You can pause here if you need more time to arrange the patterns. Now we are ready for step 3, preparing the garment. In prepare mode, we use the 3D gizmo when we need to improve the position of any pattern piece on the avatar. We'll enlarge our 3D window so we can easily navigate around our avatar. We want to position each piece so it sits where it would naturally drape on the body for the best simulation results. The neckband closes at the wearer's left shoulder seam of the t-shirt, so we can rotate the neckband opening to the right position. We also want to move the pieces so that the edges are visible as we navigate around. This helps make stitching easier. As always, having completed this stage, we make sure to save our work. Now we are ready for step 4, stitching. As a beginner, it's best practice to start with single stitching. Notice that when we hover over our neckband edge, it is one continuous line segment. Since we know this edge needs to be sewn to multiple pieces, we use the multi-stitch tool. Note that if we had changed the notch points to corner points, it would break up the line segments, and we would not need to use the multi-stitch tool. Again, we'll save our file. Now stitching is complete, we can start step 5, simulation. If we miss a stitch, it's easily noticeable during simulation. We can fix this by going back to prepare mode and stitching the missed edge. The last step before saving is to save a snapshot of the final simulation. Finally, we save our file. That's it! We have turned a 2D DXF file into a 3D garment. For more information, check out the Browseware Help Center.